Alright, I am starting to absolutely love this build. And I've actually said that before. But the reason I'm saying that is because, well, this build has come up with a lot of challenges for me. Originally, this was going to be like this giant bridge that went over this gorge area, like there was going to be a river at the bottom. But then I thought, oh wait, no bridge is going to look good going across a 150-meter span and look good as a curved bridge as well. And so the idea sprung up for it to be a dam. And so that's what happened. And this is another one of those cases where I recorded an episode and it was like, wait, this is just too boring. let's spice it up a little bit. So I re-recorded this episode today, the very day that it's coming out, and we went into full detail with it. And it didn't actually come up to be a longer episode. It actually came up to be right around roughly the same length as the last one, but there's also a couple different changes that you're also going to notice as we get further into the video. And so what I've been noticing here as of late, I record with OBS. Well, I did record with OBS, and so OBS has been causing some frame drop issues, and it's not in game, it's only on the video. Like, I rewatched one of the latest Conway episode, I think yesterday, and I noticed that every time we went over the tree area, like where all the trees and stuff are, it didn't lag in game, or else I would have noticed it, but it lagged on the video, like the frames just dropped. And so I asked our friend Joe, like, what would or Approach Medium, what would like be causing that? And he told me that to try using something different, try using a different encoding program, and it's only, and he has it all set up to where he has two different SSDs that are, one's running Trainz and one's running his encoder program, which I kind of have the same setup, but mine's not SSDs. I'm using two hard drives. One's a 2 terabyte, which is holding Trainz, and one's a 1 terabyte. Did I say 2 terabyte hard drive that's holding Trainz, and 1 terabyte that is the encoding program that also includes my Windows. And so that could be part of the issue. So I may look into getting an SSD here soon. I really do need to get an SSD anyways, because I hear that it makes opening up Windows when you're first starting up your computer a whole lot faster and a whole lot easier. So I've actually been thinking about doing that for quite some time. This might be the nail in the coffin. But so he told me to try using a different program, and the program that he told me to try to use was Bandicam. And so I did try it out on a couple of test recordings, and I went through those the same areas with OBS, and OBS lagged, Bandicam didn't. So this boy went and purchased a Bandicam thing, and so now we're using Bandicam. You'll actually see the transition to Bandicam here roughly, I want to say maybe 20 seconds. The video will actually get black bars on the bottom and the top, and that's only because of how a Bandicam records it. And so probably might keep it, or I'll probably just fix it here where it will do the whole thing like OBS, which OBS kind of stretches it, so it kind of could be another issue to it. There might be all kinds of different things going on to it. If it just looks good and it doesn't bother you guys to keep the black bars there, then we'll just keep it there, and we just you know, it works good. See, here's where I've been noticing like that pause there. I was like, that's when I was typing to him, but like, I've been noticing a few things, and then we talked through, and like he told me what to try out. And so we're trying out Bandicam, and actually right here is the transition. And so now we're using Bandicam. As you can see, there's these little black bars, but I hope it doesn't cause too much of an issue. That's just the resolution of the game. Because I don't play the game in full screen because I've never really played the game in full screen. I've had issues with doing it and playing it in full screen, and then trying to get out, and then coming back, and sometimes it may crash. But that was before I've rebuilt my computer, so it may not do it now. It's just a habit. And so we're doing some little bit of terraforming here because I wanted to work on this lake. Welcome to Sarah Lake. This lake is, of course, named after my fiance, but I wanted to, since I give a portion to the route to all the members of the WIT team, this might be the biggest portion that gets named after somebody, which is this lake in this dam area, because I really love how everything turned out. It's just, as we get further into it, the more details we put down, the more realistic it becomes, and the more that it reminds me of these lakes that are around here, like the Carr Creek Lake and the Buckhorn Lake. Both state parks. You can look them up if you like, but they have these dams that are not big concrete dams, but they're made of of course they got the whole thing going on where they have a concrete slab in the middle just to try to keep the water back, but they're made from just dirt over time, and they keep it all cleaned up, and they keep it nice, and keep the trees and stuff from growing on the dams. And so I wanted to keep that same feature. We just got some grass growing on them, but I didn't put no trees down actually onto the dam portion. And like the Carr Creek Dam, or the Carr Creek Lake, however, it splits off into forks, and I wanted to give that kind of same thing here, because it may come back into play like in future episodes. Because if you remember back, I think it was episode number 2, there was this area of a river that we did not finish. I think we can try to make this lake go all the way back over there and somehow get the track back over there, which I don't know if we will or not. It's really all depending on how far we go out this way, but it really all depends on how everything looks and how everything feels if we want to try to make it go back, because it'd be higher elevations and be weird trying to get the mountains set correctly to where everything looks natural. And that's the whole thing. Like, I worked on this area here for probably a good 4.5 hours just getting the ground just fixed up, and I still worked on it a little bit after the recording. And I put these down here, and these backdrops only for maybe a few seconds, because, well, they're still there at the current moment, but they're only there to try to give a background look to it, probably only for the cinematics, because really, like, before I release the route, I am going to go back in the back areas and fill it all up with mountains and trees. Like, of course I'm going to be using billboard trees, but I'm going to just make it look a little bit more realistic than using backdrops, which backdrops work too. It's just from a standpoint that you can tell that it's flat, especially at midday, because when we're recording here, we are at midday, and as you can see, there's not much of a haziness, there's not much of any fog. I kind of got rid of that because I thought, well, it would probably make sense if you guys could see it a whole lot clearer. So around midday, there's no fog, so we got rid of the fog, and here we are just trying to put all the little details down. I'm actually going to I got this little idea here from Scratchy, because he done this on his Eagle River route. He put a few little Easter eggs in, and so I wanted to throw me one on here, and I probably put, like, as I went down looking through all the assets on the database, I probably put one of every animal that is in the game around this one guy watching the TV in the middle of the mountains. Like, he's just on his broken couch, just sitting there probably watching me. That's me, just up there watching everybody. But he's one with nature and his television programs. I wonder what kind of television programs would he watch? Would he... Oh, no, he would watch the Bearstein Bears, or would he watch... Bearstein, however you want to say it, because, you know, the Mandela effect. But I'm not going to get into that because it's just a whole different... Where are we going with this? But, of course, we wanted to keep the how we're going up into the mountains. The pines are still showing up a whole lot more, and so we're throwing them in with the SDRMM trees. And I wanted the up close areas to have that view. And I love this. Like, I just took a screenshot of that, and just because I really love how all of that is starting to shape up and look, because of the trees, because of how everything is situated, and how everything is fixed up. It really does look like you're looking down into a gorge or valley or a canyon, or what's the other names for these things? A river at the bottom of a valley. Yeah, that. It really looks cool, and it really it brings me home. And I found some more assets. I have no idea where they came from, but the QIDs are there if you want to know what they are. You can pause the video more if you like and just look up the QIDs. If you guys know, like somebody asked me what kind of assets did I use for the gravel pit that we done, the limestone quarry. Somebody asked me for the assets for that, and like, all you have to do, I have the assets right there, like at the very bottom corner, just like Joe does on his videos. All you have to do is just pause it and then just look up that QUID. You can actually search it up on Google, and it more than likely will bring it up, unless it's on the download station. And then just look it up on the download station, and it will bring it right up there. But you guys are more than welcome to download any QID that you see on there, unless it's, you know, a payware product from JR, which I don't use much if any payware products at all from JR on the Conway here, because I wanted to space it out on how everything looks and feels, and I wanted to use a whole lot more for your items. That way you guys wouldn't have much trouble finding any of the products that we use. And of course, we'll definitely let you guys know, like, where you can find everything that is not DLS. Like these roads, however, I told Flamer Rails the other day that when he was live streaming that to check out these roads. These are the backshop roads. You can find them at thebackshops.com. They're made by Logan, and Logan done pretty good with these roads, right? I really like how they look. They really look a whole lot more realistic than the Astrophy or the Yarn. Which Yarn has a whole lot more assets to it too, but he's actually making a whole nother pack to it, so I don't know, we'll see how it goes. The railroad station there, that passenger station, I wanted to make it defunct. It's no longer a passenger station, it is now a post office. And so I had this in the back of my mind as I was building this little park here, and I went back and got some more of the living people. And I wanted to make it look like that this park was used by the local people. Maybe they're having like a little farmer's market. They're, you know, just some old ladies just out having a nice little day, probably with their men down below fishing. Like this little guy, he's just fishing out of the spillway, just trying to catch some fish, having a grand old time. And I really liked. I can't say enough like how much I am enjoying this build, because it really brings me home, and it really, like, I don't know, it's just like I'm kind of liking the Conway more than I'm liking the Riverton, which the Riverton, you know, it needs a whole lot more work to it. And don't worry, I am going to give it the same amount of detail and work as I am giving the Conway, so that's going to be in future episodes to come. I need to find a little building here, because if you've seen any of the lakes, like if you looked up any of the pictures of the lakes that I just mentioned, there's these giant white built towers that I guess are the controlling points for the actual dam mechanisms itself, and I can't find anything to resemble that. I tried to put some like little towers. I tried to put a railroad tower there for a second, and it just didn't look. I didn't like it. it just didn't fit with me. And here's where we start putting more animals down. If you guys know anywhere where I could find anything like that, just a tower with maybe like 2 windows at the top of it and a door at the bottom, that's all I need. That way it will match the dam area. That way it actually look like, you know, it's playing a part here and actually like actually doing his job of holding back the water and everything, you know. Oh, and these little, I don't know where I found these assets or even where I got them. See, I just put down a McDonald's. Like, that was a really detailed McDonald's. Like, I have to use that somewhere. Like, I have no idea where I found them. I'm gonna have to take a deeper look and to see where I got those. But really, just didn't know where I got them from. Really, I was sitting there pondering on that for a good maybe 15-20 minutes. But now we're just gonna finish out putting some textures down. We're gonna situate it up a little bit. You make it all nice and pretty, make it all nice and fancy. And I wanted to. I'm actually doing this with a lot of the trackage along the Conway, just bringing the ground up just a tad, because it's not a heavily maintained railroad. It's not a full-on class 1. It's just a little short line that is owned by this. And the reason I'm putting a signal here, because I'm wanting to put a siding at the other end of this tunnel, which we will get onto that here soon, which we're coming up to the cinematics. And so to finish this out here, I wanted to tell you guys that I am live streaming this Saturday. We're live streaming a Conway build, and it's going to be past this point, and I'm going to want you guys to be there. We will be starting roughly at 7 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, and so I would like you guys to be there, because I'm going to need a lot of y'all's input, because we're going to be putting down another industry that is adjacent to what the actual Conway does, other than the whiskey barrels, and so I'm going to need your guys' help with that. But I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Make sure to hit that bell notification to always be notified when we release content and do live streams, because we do that stuff all the time. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/WIT Simulations, because I'll be releasing videos over there almost every 2 weeks. We have another video coming exclusively for our Patreons this Sunday. But with that being said, until next time, I will see you all on down the line. Bye-bye.